Robyn. All right, good evening and welcome to the show. Now, we just talked about your first record that came out 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Does it feel like it's been 10 years?
It actually does. I feel very experienced. And I'm also very proud of these years. I've learned so much. And
is it true that on the new album you're trying to recapture a bit of that time and a bit of that spirit?
Definitely. My biggest inspiration, or the picture I had in my mind when I recorded the album, was me being 15 on the subway with my Walkman, with my headphones on, listening to hip-hop that nobody knew at the time because hip-hop wasn't that big as it is right now.
What were you listening to in those days?
I was listening to, a lot of hip-hop from New York. My biggest idols were TLC, Nena Cherry, those type of girls that were really strong and kaxiga, as we would say in Sweden.
All right. When we go back, take us back, 10 years, and you were at that time going in the studio working with people like Max Martin and Danish, who were to become some of the biggest producers of the decade, working with Britney Spears and the Backstreet Boys and so on, and you had a breakthrough in the States. What was that like, that experience?
It was a lot of things. I think it was very overwhelming. It was fantastic being that young and being able to travel and meet all these people. And I think making music at that age was just amazing, that people wanted to listen to what I had to say. I was a very lucky girl.
Were you surprised when it became quite as successful as it did?
No, I wasn't, because I was really proud of what I did. You know, I started writing songs when I was 11, and a lot of those songs went on the first album. So it was really my record, and I was proud.
What made you do that when you were 11 years old?
I don't know why. I just had this urge to express myself, and I think it had a lot to do with me growing up in a theater family. And my parents got divorced when I was 10, and that was what I started to write about. My first song was about my parents' divorce. So it's always been a way for me to express myself and deal with my emotions, I guess.
And then you had the big breakthrough in the States, but you chose not to stay there and go back to Sweden. Why was that?
I missed my mama. No, I don't know. It was, like I said, very overwhelming, and I wouldn't change it for anything in the world, but I was 17, 18 at the time, and I needed to go back and kind of grow up and become a normal person, you know. I didn't want to stay in that environment. I wanted to go back and make more music and find out who I was without the Max Martin and without all the success, you know, really try to do something for myself.
Now, you said a moment ago that you weren't surprised when success came to you now, and that you are proud of what you do. But you're not allowed to say this. If you were living in Denmark, if you'd been raised here, we would say we have the law of janteloven. According to that, you shouldn't be proud and you shouldn't come out and express yourself in this way. Do you have janteloven in Sweden?
We do. We call it jantelagen, and it's very known, and people use it all the time. I guess it's gotten better. We're better now. We're not as bad as we used to be.
Has it gotten better, or is it just that you are more successful and so people respect you?
I think it's both. I think it's both. In Sweden I can do what I want, and people kind of know that I'm going to do what I want. And so I don't have a problem with it anymore. But with my first record, it was a big issue, and everybody talked about it a lot, that I was, you know, big-headed for being so young and all that stuff.
And you sounded so self-confident when you go back and listen to the record. Even now, you don't sound like you're 16, I'm sure. Where does that confidence come from?
From me, from my parents and the way I grew up, from knowing that I had something important to say, and I guess just like the fever to express myself and just do something good, you know?
All right, now we talk a little bit about janteloven. What is the difference in your mind between Sweden and Denmark?
I don't know enough about Denmark to really say...
You do. Oh, you do. Come on now.
No, but it's true. I don't know that much about Denmark.
You could be critical.
What I do know is that I think you're very conservative in certain ways. You're very open about sex and about drugs and about enjoying life. I think you know how to, you know, make sure you enjoy yourselves. But I think when it comes to music and art, you're more conservative than Swedish people.
In what way?
I don't know. In Sweden, people think I'm very pop, but here people think I'm very arty. I guess there's some kind of difference in the way that we look on commercial art. I guess commercial music in Sweden has a little bit more kind of a depth.
Right.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
Most welcome. Now, would you say that your nationality, when you listen to the record, you're talking about the influence from American hip-hop, and this is, 10 years back.
Yeah.
Is your music Swedish in any way? Can one tell from listening to it that it is Scandinavian, or is it truly international?
I think it's a very Swedish music style in the sense that I talk about sorrow and sadness a lot.
All right.
But I do it in a pop way, you know?
Yeah.
It's like the song Be Mine, for example. It's the most sad song I've ever written. There's a part in it where I go, I saw you at the station. You had your arm around, what's her name? She had on that scarf I gave you, and you got down to tie her laces. And I go, 'cause you never were, and you never will be mine. No, you never were, and you never will be mine. So it's really like, thank you. It's really heartfelt and very emotional and dramatic. And I guess that's it's kind of Swedish.
What made you choose that as the first single from the album?
It's the best song on the album.
You can say that,
Yeah.
just like that.
Yeah, it is. It is the best song on the album.
I think most artists wouldn't choose. Most artists say, oh, they're all good, I like them all. How can you say that is the best song?
I do like them all, but I think Be Mine is the most, I don't know, complete pop song on the album. The most complete song I've ever made, I think.
Really? But I mean, you've had a number of hits. You had Show Me Love a few years back that I'm sure a lot of people remember. There was a huge radio hit in the States.
Yeah.
What is it about you?
That's number 2.
All right, sure. But what is it about you? I mean, it does seem as if you are commercial in a very natural way. You don't have to force yourself or strain to be commercial.
No,
is that
I don't.
true?
It's true. I like being commercial. I like communicating with people. That's the kind of music I grew up with. I grew up listening to Madonna, too. Cyndi Lauper, Michael Jackson, Prince. I mean, all these really pop artists, but they always kind of kept their personal identity within their music, and I think that's what I'm trying to do as well.
All right. Now, one of the other songs, Konnichiwa Bitches,
Yeah.
is the name of that. Your new record label is called Konnichiwa. Where does that come from? What does that mean?
It doesn't really have a meaning. It's just a nice word. It means how do you do in Japanese. And it comes from, there's this guy I really like. He's a comedian. You probably know him. He's called Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, sure.
He has a sketch where, I can't tell you the whole story, but in some point in the sketch, a guy goes, "Konnichiwa, bitches," and I love that sketch, and so we put those words in the song, and I just like the word. And
on that song,
became a
you're
record
rapping,
label. Yeah.
and you're going on about doing this and that with
How
your
good I am.
this and that, and you being this and that,
Yeah.
and so hot, and so this and that,
Yeah.
and that you can do a lot of things to a lot of people all the way from Saigon to Hong Kong
Yeah.
and so forth. I mean, what is that?
I'm talking about how good I am and how bad everybody else is. In a very... You can't wear these shoes on the moon, you know.
No.
You know?
No,
Anyway,
you shouldn't change the topic. I
sorry.
noticed this. You should go right back to how good you are and how bad everyone else is.
Okay, let me talk about that then.
See, now you were Scandinavian. That's all wrong. You have to be more American. You have to stick with your self-confidence all the way through.
Okay, so
All right.
I'm talking about how good I am. I guess it was something I mean, there's a lot of humor in that song. And it's really, I'm just taking everything to an extreme. And it was a song that I wrote when I started my record company. And it was a big risk for me, both economically, but also creatively, sorry. As a musician, it was a big risk as well. So I think I just kind of dealt with that insecurity in that song, just kind of scaring all the demons away and just being really kaxy again.
Now let's talk about men. Because on the album, you said that a bit too quickly, I think. On the album, you've got a song called Robot Boy, which is about a robot boy, I guess, and you've got a song called A Bum Like You.
Yeah.
Why would you, Robyn, ever spend time with a bum like
Well,
me?
haven't we all spent time with bums? I mean,
I haven't.
that's a part of life. I think we all have at some point. I mean, we all
But
kind of
this
fall in love with someone that's not good for us. But it actually is a song
But
that
this is what women do. This is what women do. Women fall in love with people who aren't good for them. Men don't do that. At least we don't know when we fall in love. That's the difference.
I know a lot of men who fall in love with bad girls.
But they don't know because men are so naive.
Yeah, maybe. But, I mean, you know that song was inspired by Bukowski, the writer Bukowski. Do you know who he is?
Yeah.
He's a very ugly, or he was a very ugly person. And he was an alcoholic, and he was very rude and just a horrible person in some ways, and a really amazing writer in other ways. And I saw a documentary about him, and it kind of just made a perfect subject for a song, you know, this guy who's just very bad in all kind of ways, but people, or women, they just love him, you know. And I really kind of saw myself in that and draw parallels to the relationship I was in. And of course, it's again taken to an extreme.
But that's fine, but you just shouldn't do it again.
Okay.
I mean, the next time, the next bomb, you know, don't give him the time of day.
All right. It's over now. I'm reading a song about it, so it's fine.
All right, right. I'm pleased to hear that. Last question. This album, happy one or sad one? What is it?
That's the thing. It's both. It's very sad, but it's also very, very happy and playful. It's both.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, Robyn.